The Vietnam War, a conflict etched in the memory of a generation. But beyond the jungles of Vietnam, another war raged, a secret war. In the mountains of Laos, the CIA orchestrated a covert operation. Their goal: disrupt the Ho Chi Minh Trail, a vital supply line for North Vietnamese forces. To achieve this, they turned to the Hmong people. The Hmong, an indigenous group in Laos, were caught in the crossfire. Their loyalty was sought by both sides. The CIA saw in them fierce warriors, intimately familiar with the treacherous terrain. The Hmong, seeking protection from communist encroachment on their lands and way of life, found common cause with the Americans. Thus began a partnership, shrouded in secrecy. The CIA, under the direction of agents like the legendary Bill Lair, recruited and trained the Hmong. They armed them, turning farmers and hunters into soldiers. The Hmong, in turn, pledged their loyalty to this strange new ally, unaware of the ultimate cost of their commitment. This alliance would shape the destiny of the Hmong people, forever linking their fate to the outcome of a war fought far from their villages. At the heart of this secret army stood a charismatic leader, General Vang Pao. A man of the people, Vang Pao rose from humble beginnings to become a symbol of Hmong resistance. He commanded the loyalty and respect of his soldiers. Recognizing his strategic acumen, the CIA appointed Vang Pao as the military leader of the Hmong forces. Under his command, a ragtag militia transformed into a disciplined fighting force. Vang Pao established a stronghold at Long Cheng, a remote airbase that became the nerve center of Hmong resistance. From Long Cheng, Vang Pao directed Hmong operations, coordinating attacks on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. He rallied his troops, urging them to fight for their homes, their families, their way of life. To the Hmong people, Vang Pao was more than a general. He was their protector, their hope. The Hmong fighters, though lacking the sophisticated weaponry of their adversaries, were formidable opponents. They were masters of guerrilla warfare, employing hit-and-run tactics that exploited the dense jungle terrain. They knew the mountains like the backs of their hands. The CIA provided training in weapons handling, demolitions, and small unit tactics. The Hmong, already skilled hunters and trackers, adapted quickly to these new methods of warfare. They proved to be quick learners, resourceful and resilient. Their knowledge of the local terrain proved invaluable. They guided American airstrikes, directing bombers to targets along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. They sabotaged bridges, ambushed convoys, and disrupted the flow of supplies to the North Vietnamese. The Hmong, though lightly armed, were a constant thorn in the side of the North Vietnamese army. The Ho Chi Minh Trail, a network of roads and paths snaking through Laos, was the lifeline of the North Vietnamese war effort. Trucks rumbled day and night, carrying troops, weapons and supplies south to fuel the fighting in Vietnam. The Hmong, under Vang Pao's leadership, launched daring raids on this vital artery. They planted mines, detonated explosives, and engaged in fierce firefights with North Vietnamese soldiers. Their objective: to disrupt the flow of supplies and men, to buy time for their allies in South Vietnam. The Hmong attacks, though costly in terms of lives, had a significant impact. They slowed the enemy's advance, forcing them to divert resources to defend the trail. Their efforts, often overlooked in the larger narrative of the war, played a crucial role in hindering the North Vietnamese war effort. The Hmong fought bravely alongside their American allies, but their loyalty came at a steep price. They endured unimaginable hardships, their lives upended by the conflict. Their villages, nestled in the mountains, became targets. Families were torn apart, forced to flee their homes to escape the violence. They lived as refugees in their own country, seeking shelter in remote caves and makeshift camps. Food was scarce, medicine even more so. Yet through it all the Hmong spirit endured. They clung to their traditions, their sense of community, their hope for a better future. Their resilience in the face of adversity was a testament to their strength and determination. Section 6. A bitter harvest, betrayal and exodus. As the war in Vietnam turned against the Americans, the fate of their Hmong allies hung precariously in the balance. The Paris Peace Accords of 1973 brought an end to American involvement in the conflict, but offered little protection for the Hmong. They were abandoned by their sponsors, left to face an uncertain future. The North Vietnamese, their long-simmering anger at the Hmong's alliance with the Americans, unleashed a campaign of retribution. Villages were razed, crops destroyed, and those suspected of collaborating with the CIA faced imprisonment, torture, or worse. Faced with persecution and genocide, the Hmong had a stark choice: flee or perish. A mass exodus began, a desperate scramble for survival. Thousands, led by the now exiled Vang Pao, risked their lives to escape across the Mekong River into Thailand. Section 7. A long road to freedom. The banks of the Mekong River became a tragic testament to the plight of the Hmong. Families, carrying what few possessions they could salvage, waded into the muddy waters, fleeing the only home they had ever known. Many drowned, swept away by the current or caught in the crossfire as Laotian soldiers patrolled the border. Those who made it across found temporary refuge in overcrowded camps in Thailand. These camps, while offering a degree of safety, were harsh and unforgiving. Disease was rampant and the future remained uncertain. The United States, initially hesitant to grant asylum to their former allies, eventually relented. Under pressure from veterans groups and humanitarian organizations, the US government initiated a program to resettle Hmong refugees. Section 8. A new home, a lasting legacy. The journey to America was long and arduous, filled with uncertainty and cultural disorientation. For many Hmong, arriving in the United States was like landing on another planet. The language, the customs, the way of life were completely alien. Yet, with the same resilience they had shown throughout the war, the Hmong adapted to their new home. They rebuilt their lives, clinging to their traditions while embracing the opportunities of their adopted country. They farmed the land, started businesses, and pursued education with a fervor born from their history of displacement. The Hmong community in America, now numbering in the hundreds of thousands, stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit. They have not forgotten their past, the sacrifices they made, the loved ones they lost. Their story is a reminder of the hidden costs of war, the enduring strength of cultural identity, and the enduring power of hope. Section 9. Remembering the Secret War. The secret war in Laos, for many years, remained just that, a secret. The contributions and sacrifices of the Hmong people were largely unknown, their story overshadowed by the larger narrative of the Vietnam War. But history, as it often does, has a way of revealing its hidden truths. Through the tireless efforts of veteran scholars and the Hmong community itself, the story of the secret war is finally being told. Memorials have been erected, books written, and documentaries filmed, all dedicated to ensuring that the bravery and sacrifice of the Hmong people are never forgotten. The legacy of the Hmong, however, extends far beyond the battlefields of Laos. It is a story of resilience, of cultural survival, of the enduring bonds of family and community. It is a story that continues to inspire, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can overcome unimaginable adversity.